Hi, my name is Brooke Littman.
And I'm Dr. Deb Littman.
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready.
Well, let's say prost to our wine.
Okay.
Another Italian, so we say
Chin chin.
chin chin. Okay, yeah, good Italian wine. Epicuro.
Yeah, we have to go to the winery in
Absolutely.
Italy.
We definitely need to go to a vineyard in Italy, and
I've heard that
this.
town where the vineyard is has a lot of museums and art and all that.
Is this the Puglia?
Yeah, I think. No.
Or at least that's the region. I mean.
Yeah, but there's Epicuro has a winery and a.
I want to show the court because when I was getting ready to open it, all I could see was friend in it. But anyway, it says planet friendly. Yeah. So that kind of makes me.
Well, we have a lot of those corks.
We do have a lot of these corks, and so kind of we do tend to drink this one. We both prefer red wines if we had our preference. Yeah. Of course, I've got to where I'm really enjoying white wines and somewhat rosé, but red's always been my wine of choice. I wanted to talk to you, Dave. We have this thing coming up in our little canton called HESO. It's HESO if we're spelling it in English. HESO if we spell it in German. But HESO it's almost like the county fair. And I know we've mentioned it, but we're going to really, over the next 2 weeks, put lots of photos out from that event on our Instagram page. So we really hope you'll kind of follow along with that. But I want to talk about it, a little more in depth today. I think that we have about the same amount of experience over 6 years as each other. I don't have more experience than you do with it. And let me just tell you why. Our very first year here, our next door neighbors had just got married in July. I was talking to her almost every day because, she at the time was pregnant. And at this time of the year, she was in about her 8th month. And she said, "Are you going to HESO?" I said, "No." I walked by. I saw them, putting the tents up, but no, not going to go. She said, "You have to go. You have to go because they have the best Berliners." Okay. And that was, my first, thought of it. And I thought, well, and I told her, I said, "I do not think I'm comfortable enough with German to go. So I probably will not go." And she said, "Well, if I have time, maybe we can go one day during the week." Well, she didn't have time over that 10-day period. And like I said, she was 8 months pregnant. So, we're going to give her that. And then, so the next year, HESO comes along. You again. Well, the first year, you were here, and then the second year,
I was not. No, I was.
Yes, you were.
It was COVID.
You were here.
Did they even have HESO?
And I'm not sure. I think that they had it, but it was not well attended. Yeah. And so because I think that, no, you know what? I don't think they did have it because it was October, November. By then, everything shut down. So, I'm pretty sure they did not have HESO that year.
Well, I mean, it was after it had come back.
It went 2 years with no HESO. And I thought, oh, my goodness, I'm never going to get to experience this. So, first year, I sillily chose not to go. next 2 years, because of COVID, we don't have HESO. So that's 19, 20, 21. 2022, they had it, but I didn't go.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%
you guys
sure.
probably went to Italy that same week.
Okay, that may have been when we
weekend.
were in Italy.
But maybe,
okay, maybe
it
not.
was
I don't know.
sooner.
But yeah. And so then 2023, your dad and I finally decide, let's just go. See what it is. We're comfortable enough with German. We can order a beer. And that's really all we felt like we needed to know.
Yeah.
Because we could go see the vendors. We didn't have to talk to people. Well, anyway, of course, we ended up talking to vendors.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go through and we see all the vendors. And this was a weeknight. No, it was not. It was the first weekend. So it was really crowded. All we did was get a beer and walk around. And then right as we were leaving, he saw that there was a restaurant from Bern that was doing the wine soup. And I said, do you want to get it? And he said, no, let's come back during the week. So we made plans that year to go back on the Wednesday. And we were going to have dinner there with the wine soup. So we went and we had the wine soup and we were looking at the line for the Berliners. And I said, that must be it. And your dad said, what? I said, that's the queue everybody's talking about. That's got to be the Berliners. He said, well, do you want to get one? And I was like, no, it's too long. And I said, how about we come back Saturday? He said, how about we come back Saturday for breakfast? Because they have the German breakfast.
Okay.
And we'll come to the same restaurant that we had gotten the soup at that night. We'll come to this restaurant. We'll do the German breakfast. Then we'll get a Berliner. Okay. I said, okay. So we left there that Wednesday evening. We didn't do too much. Just walk around a little bit. And then we decided we would come back Saturday morning. So we get up Saturday morning before we even eat breakfast. And, that's a big deal for your dad because he eats breakfast every morning, early. And so we get there and we order the German breakfast. And so we've got our pretzel, our white sausage, our sweet mustard, and our beer, our wheat beer. And we eat and, it's starting to get crowded. So a couple has to sit at the table beside us. And so it was really close. And we thought, okay, they're trying to talk to us. We couldn't really, all of a sudden we're not comfortable with our German. And, so we get up and so we decided, okay, well, we're going to get in line for the Berliners. I guess it took that morning beer to get us the nerve to get up. So we get up, we get in line for the Berliners, and we watch this whole spectacle that goes on. And, it was just so much fun. Well, by then, we get our 2 little Berliners, one each, after everybody in front of us was ordering 20, 40, and 80. Yeah. And then we walk outside because we'd already seen all the vendors. We didn't want to go back through that. Yeah. And plus there were some things that I really liked that your dad was afraid I was going to ask him to buy me, so he wouldn't go back through the vendors with me. So we go outside and there's little kids doing swinging. And I was like, I want to watch. So we get there and we sit in the stadium and pull for these little kids as if we know them. It was the funniest thing, but it was so much fun to watch. And so that's my experience with HESO, because last year I was not here, but you were.
Yeah.
Tell me about yours.
I mean, we went twice. I went twice.
Yes.
Because I went with my German class, and we had to, fill out a worksheet and stuff. And then I hung out with one of my classmates because we did it in, pairs. And then, that was it. I didn't get anything that day. Except for our teacher bought everyone a drink, so I got a Coke. But, because I felt weird, no one else got a beer, and I was like, I feel weird, because he was like, do you want a beer? And I was like, I felt weird saying that around my other
I would have said
classmates. But, and then Dad and I went, to get Berliners, and that was it. We had a beer, and then we got Berliners, and it was, the next day. So, honestly, you probably did have more of an experience. I didn't do that much. I tried to get him to get a pot lid because we just had the one for the big pot, because this was before we had the new skillet. So there was this really cool pot lid that I was like, oh, we should get that. And he just, completely ignored it. It was something we needed, too, and it was not that expensive.
Well, and that was so funny because... And now the things I saw all were related to wine. And I was like, yeah, we need that. One was like that. that wine cooler that you stick a bottle in and it lights up and it gets, it plays your music. And
we have that.
I loved it. And then, so anyway, he made me walk away from that.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what this year, you and I have committed to going at least one day during the week without your dad.
Yeah.
And I think your dad will go with us maybe one day.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try to make sure it's not one of the projects. But I was
thinking, well, we can't go on a Tuesday or a Thursday, so
Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
yes, you have rehearsals, and we want to drink. Yeah. But my issue is going on Wednesdays. I'm afraid it's going to be, kind of crowded. So maybe the first Monday. Let's see if the first Monday they're there. Yeah, because a lot of the Pinterest school.
No, I can't. If I don't know if I could go on.
We don't know yet. We don't know your schedule for Monday, so never mind. We won't say that. But anyway, one day we're going to go, just the two of us. We'll figure it out and go and just have a blast. We're going to walk around, see the vendors, maybe listen to the little spiels, and say, "Oh, I might come back for that." If you liked it, komm zurück. I don't know. I'm not really that good with German, but. Every time I think I am, I speak to someone and they're like, "What? What?" I thought my German was good, but evidently it is not. Not to a native speaker, Okay, but I think that, I really only know about Solothurn's Herbstmesse.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about others.
I don't know if other places have one. I mean, this could just be a very Solothurn thing.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
I mean, it's literally called Herbstfest Solothurn. HESO.
Yeah, it is. And so, and I think that, I mean, it reminds me so much of the Davidson County Fair from when I was growing up. And I know that's why we've talked about it before, because we were talking about the fair when I was growing up. It reminds me so much of that. The games, the smells of the food, Except there were not a lot of beer vendors in Davidson County Fair.
You can't, because in the U.S. you can't walk around with a beer.
Yeah, and so but here you got one every few feet. There's a different beer vendor, and our local brewery, Ufi, is there, and they've got several little spots set up, so that's a lot of fun. So, and it's at that little area where they have all the little kind of things, like the beer tug in April is in the same area. The food truck festival is there, so it's kind of a fun little spot in Solothurn, and you can see the big. I think is that one at Basel Tour? It is. That's the Basel Tour. So TOR is like gate.
Tower. Yeah, the one that's facing Basel. That's why it's called Basel. Yeah. Because it's facing Basel.
And there's how many do we have? 3? So Bern Tour. It's Bern Tour, right?
Bern Tour might be one.
Basel
Biel Tour is
Biel Tour is,
because it's facing Biel.
And it's over at Forstadt, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's facing Biel.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's kind of fun to, know your towers in your city. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah. So, guys, if you ever visit, Solothurn is a great. I love being here because it's small and large at the same time. It's small and big at the same time, I think. So, do you want to go see the kids swinging?
No.
Why not?
I don't find swinging very interesting, honestly. It's like wrestling and like all that. I don't like that very much.
It is, but in like sawdust. Yeah. Yeah, your floor is like of sawdust. It's like a circle, and you can't go out of the circle, and it's kind of a fun.
It's like sumo
and
wrestling.
I still don't know the rules.
It's Swiss sumo wrestling is basically what it is.
Well, yeah, but they wear pants.
Okay, exactly my point.
But they have that thing Swiss over their pants that look like
wrestling, because the Swiss could never be in just the thing.
They wouldn't show that much skin.
That's Swiss sumo wrestling.
Unless they're swimming, and then they don't care. Just take it all off. Let's go in the lake
because they're in the water.
Yeah, but it's just a funny. My first experience with that was, I thought those who were going to go swimming, I thought they were wearing their swimsuits. So we do the hike, And we go down to the lake, but your dad and I had already planned that we weren't, because I didn't think I'd feel comfortable with my swimsuit on under my hiking clothes. So I thought, well, I'm just not going to go swimming. I'll put my feet in the water. And by the time we get to the lake, they had already gone out ahead of us, and they're out there in their underwear swimming in the water. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then we kind of set up, we were going to sit on the shore and wait for them to come out. I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I want to see them people in their underwear? I didn't want to. Anyway, they come out, just no shame. No, they're not. They just dried off and put the clothes back on, and we went and ate lunch. Well, I guess it was a late lunch, early dinner. It was kind of it was the meal we ate that day. But what a beautiful hike that was. And honestly, now I would go in that lake in my underwear.
Okay.
I would, because everybody else was doing it.
Okay.
But, I would be uncomfortable getting back down because, I don't think I could dry completely, but still, whatever. What a beautiful lake. You want to go over to that lake?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm not talking about HESO anymore. I was just talking about, people in general in Solothurn.
Yeah, but you didn't say a specific lake.
I don't know how.
People you were with.
Okay. I can't say who I'm with. Okay, so I can't say that out loud. Okay. And if I say where, then they're going to know.
Okay, so
but anyway,
how am I supposed to know?
It was a lake. It's a lake in Switzerland, and the hike that when we went on it, it was in August. So, of course, everybody's swimming in the lakes. And, yeah, needless to say, there was no one there in a swimsuit. They were either skinny dipping or swimming in their underwear. And I'm just like, I don't understand this. I don't understand it at all. But anyway, that's a difference. I don't know. It's just a difference between here and what I grew up with. It's just kind of different. I mean, I'm not going to say I never went skinny dipping in Howard Bay. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
But, only certain people would know it.
Okay.
So, but,
I'm sorry, I'm a little sleepy today. I don't know.
Well, wake up. Drink some wine.
So wine is what makes me sleepy also.
Does it really?
So sometimes, red wine makes me sleepy.
Okay. All right. I guess that's fair. So, but we have things to do. We got a couple of things we got to do.
Yeah.
Finish this week because, HESO starts on Saturday. So I don't know that we're going Saturday. I just don't know. It's going to be really hot. So I think this Saturday, instead of cooking the lasagna, like I said, I think we're going to grill burgers. Because it's supposed to be like 27 and sunny.
I saw that. I was
excited. And I'm like, it's still summer. So, which is bizarre. I mean, I've seen pictures of me this time of year in the past, and I've got 2 layers on, like 2 long sleeve layers on. So it's kind of funny that this year is a little different. But yeah, it's going to be warmer later. I don't know what that means for our snow chances in the valley, but I'm hoping that means they're pretty good. I don't know why I would think that, but I just hope that it means. I mean, we're already getting snow above 2,000 meters, and I was above 2,000 meters yesterday. So, took some of my mom's ashes and spread them in a special part of Switzerland.
With Herman.
So, Herman, if your relatives are out there, and don't get mad at us.
We don't know who Herman is.
We do not.
No one knows who Herman is.
But she's not alone, and so, and I'm telling you, what a magnificent hike. And it's one that I wouldn't mind doing again to go sit with her.
Okay.
I mean, and it's one that I honestly think, yes, it will challenge anyone who goes with me, but it's not so much that they can't do it. I mean, I think it's doable for anybody if we take our time. But, you're going to have to walk at my pace, which is slow. I hike slow. I don't hike fast. I think your dad gets so impatient with me. He said something about me being slow or something, and I thought, this is probably why he doesn't like riding the bike with me. I guess because I'm slow. Yeah. But, I'm just... I'm older. My body's different, but yeah, it was magnificent. It was just stunning. So, but what else you got to do this week?
Well, tonight there's a Real Madrid game at 9:00.
Oh.
They're playing Marseille, which is the team, the guy that owns Sunderland.
Mm-hmm.
His dad owned Marseille. I think he still owns a stake in Marseille. Anyway, so
I will say this. The pictures of him, when I was watching the documentary, sorry, I couldn't think of that word. When I was watching that documentary, Sunderland Til I Die, I loved the pictures of him and his brother. Mm-hmm. Twin brother, but they're evidently fraternal twins because they're not identical. Anyway, they were so stinking cute as kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were adorable little boys. And they seemed, in the documentary, when they're showing them with their family, mm-hmm. Again, they don't show them away from their family. In the documentary, and they're showing, kind of videos of the past.
Talking about his family.
I understand that, and I thought, but because of the way that it was kind of put together, mm-hmm. and I guess the way it was edited, mm-hmm. it just made them look like such a happy family. And I thought, oh wow, these kids are just adorable, mm-hmm. and they're so happy, and they have so mm-hmm. much fun, and and I thought, wow, what a life! Mm-hmm. Can you imagine growing up like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, they were evidently already wealthy before he bought that football team, and
well, that's how he bought it, is because he had a lot of money. You can't buy a football team and not have a lot of money. I understand, and that's why a lot of times it's not an individual that buys them. A lot of times it's a conglomerate and. Mm-hmm. And several people, with mm-hmm. stakes in it, but it was a good documentary. I really liked mm-hmm. that one, and I'm glad you're now confirming the question your dad and I had. Does he still own the team? Yes, he does.
Okay.
I looked it up a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
So I assume he still does as of a couple months ago, because I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah.
But I haven't really heard that much about how Sunderland is doing anyway. So.
But they're back in Premier League. Mm-hmm. And so it's so funny, because here we're going to talk about all these documentaries. I'm going to bring in Wrexham.
Okay.
So now that I'm caught up, I'm sorry. Uh-huh. So your dad and I finished season 4. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyway, we finished it recently. Yeah. And I kind of knew, because you kind of told me something, but I didn't know details, and so it was still important for me to watch it. And so it was just so good. But I think your dad knew also.
Yeah, because he was talked about it.
Okay, because he was not acting like he was surprised.
We talked about it on Football Friday.
Oh, okay. And so, but I was still pretending that I didn't know. I was doing the act.
Honestly, I was worried, Wrexham fans, because I'm on the Wrexham subreddit. I was worried that going to the championship they'd feel so spoiled that they would just immediately think, oh yeah, we're gonna go into the Premier League. But luckily, it seems like they are being pretty realistic about this. That as long as we don't finish in the bottom 4, it'll still be a good season.
Don't get relegated.
Yeah, championship is a really, really tough. They always talk about how the next one is always a really tough. Championship is completely different level from, anything below it.
And it's is championship where you're really in EFL, or is that also for League 2?
Okay, so League 2 through championship is the EFL.
Okay.
Premier League is technically the EFL, but it's it's the top, and it was created much later, so the championship used to be the highest mm-hmm. level in the EFL, which is why Wrexham has never been above championship, because they got relegated before the Premier League existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of remember... And not that far, because to me, I do say football here in Europe, mm-hmm. but if I'm in the U.S. and I'm speaking about that sport, I say soccer. Yeah. I don't say football.
Yeah.
And so when I was kind of watching a little bit of soccer before we moved here, I kind of remember when the Premier League kind of started. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was, and so I still, in my mind, I still kind of get championship. I still think of championship as the top. It's still, I still kind of, get it a little mixed up. And when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of that as the premier, as the top. And then there is one more mm-hmm. premier than that. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of funny that it's kind of odd to feel old enough to remember things like that. But You know, I guess
I know, it's interesting.
it is, you know, kind of, but and you're going to be there one day. You're going to, you know, be at an age where people are going to be kind of talking around you, and you're going to be like, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that shit show of 2020. That's what you're going to say. Wow, what a year that was. But yeah, you know, it just, what? It was a mess. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh, wow. We just, yeah. I love the festivals and stuff around here.
Yeah.
And I love the stuff you talking about watching football tonight. It's funny how we adjust our schedule for you now for that.
I know. The one thing I ask to use the TV for. The only time I ask when you guys are here to use the big TV is to watch football.
Yeah. So we'll have to watch our show early, or
it'll be at 9 o'clock. The game is at 9 o'clock. You guys are not going to be staying up that late, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Your dad plays after that.
I mean, I can always watch it on my computer if he's really hard pressed to watch something out on the TV.
I think the main thing is, you know, he plays during that time, but I think he can play. I think everything's set up for him to play in our room. He just hasn't done it.
Yeah. He just won't be able to see because it's so far away.
Yeah. Compared to the TV in the living room.
Yeah. I mean, if he would take us all to the eye doctor, I think we could get that all fixed. But
I think that is in the works. It's in the plans. You know, I think we all three, recognize we need to do that. It's just sometimes, you know, things like that just, I don't know, they just fall by the wayside. Yeah. You know, and you know, because things come up, you know, that kind of block that. So it's just something that definitely needs to be planned. Yeah. And that's the thing, we just haven't done the plan. Yeah.
It's like how I need to go to a better dentist before my jaw decides it's going to get locked open.
Yeah, so you definitely don't. I was just thinking of you and the dentist yesterday. I was thinking, what is Brooke going to go back to that Sonards?
I don't want to go back to that dentist because they basically told me there was nothing wrong with my jaw. But if you've ever heard me eat, you know there is something wrong with my jaw.
But
and it's getting to the point where it's not necessarily like painful. It's not like painful. It's uncomfortable. It didn't used to be. So
do you think that's the wisdom teeth coming through?
No, because they said it was just like one on the top, and this is the bottom of my jaw that's having the problem. Because it's like definitely like my jaw, like in the.
I think that's, you know, I think that when you get, because on the 29th, I go to the doctor, and then we're going to try to get your first appointment set up with him. Yeah. I honestly think that's something you talk to him about. Say, I've talked to the dentist, and they said there's nothing wrong.
Oh, I've got a lot of things to talk to the doctor about.
Yeah. But, you know, so it just, I think that, I mean, because I don't know what else to say if the dentist is saying. So it could be that there is nothing wrong with the alignment of your teeth and blah blah blah. So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I've been told that we should really go to the dentist in Germany.
Okay.
Because I mean, think about it. It's not that far.
Well, it does seem far to me though. But you know, I get it. I mean, you know, I guess
cheaper.
Yeah, I did hear it was cheaper. I think, again, that's the learning curve. Once we learn how to do that appointment and do that, it'll be easier. But it's just that nervousness leading up to getting that appointment made. Yeah. And to me, that can take a year, and I don't want it to. But
they're also more likely to speak English.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We have to make sure. You know, we have one that, because when it comes to the medical stuff,
I was just talking
I can't take that chance on my little bit of German.
I had this conversation with yesterday about how, like, with medical stuff, she's like, well, luckily, like, her doctor is Hungarian. Yeah. But I was like, we try to, like, speak in English with them. Like, we have to find an English-speaking one.
Yeah, I mean, because that's something, I mean, they had me on medicine I didn't need to be on. Yeah. And fortunately, the English-speaking doctor immediately took me off of it. And then he immediately said, I don't know why they're telling you can't drink alcohol. He said, you need to go drink a glass of wine. But, he said, there's nothing wrong with your liver. There's no indication. So I have a couple of thoughts. I don't know if it's something we should say on here. No. But I think one of them,
I don't know. I mean...
I guess if it's close to the end, you could cut it out if you think it's very
whatever. Okay.
But the alcohol thing didn't come up until we saw the other doctor.
Yeah.
He's very evangelical and doesn't believe in alcohol, period. He thinks no one should drink alcohol. And I think when he asked me, do you drink alcohol? And I'm just like, well, yeah.
In my opinion, both those doctors in Darren Dingen should have their licenses revoked. I'm sorry. They are not good doctors. Like, I just, in general, like, not that they've done anything wrong. It's just, I think that they're getting old. And it just, I don't know. There's not, like, a good... Because, one, they said that they spoke really good English, right?
They did. When we booked with them, they said they spoke English.
And they don't.
They don't speak English at all.
And then also, I mean, a little bit, but not, like, good English. Yeah. And then also, it's just, like, I don't think they know how to be doctors to women.
Absolutely not.
And it's just, like...
Mm-mm. No, I mean, they talk down to me. They talk to me like I was, silly housewife is exactly how they talk to me. And I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
I had some knowledge and I tried telling them. Yeah. I understand that
he started talking down to you when I went with you. He started talking down to you because of a communication error.
Yeah, and honestly, in English, I was explaining to him what that term means in English, and he was like, "No, that's not correct. It's computer." He was saying, and I was just like, "Well, whatever."
Yeah, he didn't realize that we knew that a CT scan and a CAT scan are the same thing.
Yes. Exactly.
We did. It's just like he said it because I guess you had never heard the other term for it.
Right. I'd never heard him use the word computer.
I was trying to get in between to say to you that it was the same thing, and he just thought because I was sitting back in my chair. I had gotten text from Dad on my watch, which I couldn't help that he was texting me. Right, and so I guess I had looked at it, and then it seemed like he got a little upset because I wasn't on my phone.
They do get upset if you're on your phone while you're in there in consultation with them. I mean, they have told me to put my phone.
Yeah, if you're at the doctor, you shouldn't be on your phone.
No, you
need
shouldn't.
To pay attention.
Yeah, I get that.
But it also wasn't my appointment. I looked away for 1 second and made a little noise, and he just seemed upset and then started talking down to me.
Yeah.
I'm like...
So and I hate to say I was glad somebody finally saw it because your dad has seen it but didn't see it.
Because it's
your dad witnessed them talking to me the way that they do, and he did not acknowledge it at all.
Because they don't talk to him
because he was just way. No, they absolutely do not. And so he didn't see a difference, and there is a difference. And so they put me on all this medicine, and honestly, that medicine messed. I mean, it made me less healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm still not completely out of the woods with that, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, you didn't get better at all, and then as soon as you come off of it, you're doing fine.
So it just that was pretty dramatic. That medicine that's supposed to help you actually can make you.
Yeah, if you don't need
that medicine, and the doctor that took me off of it, he was like, This is not good. He said, "Are you having?" And he listed all these other symptoms, and I was like, "No." He said, "Well, you were probably just about to get there." Yeah. He was saying that there were some serious symptoms in my future had I stayed on that medication, and so now we're trying to, make sure I start exercising more and eating healthier so that I can get off the other two medicines. And so, and so this is where, as an older person, to avoid those medicines, I believe in supplements. I believe in magnesium and calcium as an older person. Yeah. And I take it twice a day.
Yeah.
And so but your dad, he's on the opposite. He still does not believe in supplements. And I get that as a young person. Yeah. As a young person, we don't necessarily need the vitamins and supplements.
Yeah, some of them, if you overdo it, it's actually really bad for you if you overdo it.
But, so I think that, I really do believe that some of the supplements I take are what keeps me
when you're older, because your body struggles with getting those kinds of nutrients, even when you're eating all the right foods.
Yep, exactly. It's just your body doesn't process it the same as an older person. And so,
You need to watch Dr. Mike on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I think you would like his videos.
Okay. You know what? I don't think it was... I mean, I know you've mentioned Dr. Mike before, but I think Amelia and Ren have also.
Yeah.
So I think, a lot of the family here.
I think you would learn a lot from Dr. Mike.
Yeah. I mean,
he does what you love so much. He likes to make sure people are educated.
Yeah, that exactly. Mm-hmm. I think that if you have a platform where you can educate the public, you should.
Yeah, and
I do believe that.
He, brings in some of his other doctor friends as well to, talk about stuff when he doesn't understand it. And he brings in, people like Legal Eagle, who's a lawyer. Okay. Do you know who Legal Eagle is?
I do not.
Okay, you would also like Legal Eagle, I think.
My day is going to be filled now. I'm not going to have time for anything else except watching the podcast y'all want me to watch.
Well, it's a YouTube channel.
Oh, a YouTube channel.
He has a podcast.
Okay. And I just downloaded the Runna podcast because I'm going to start running again.
Podcast?
Yeah, Runna has a podcast and a playlist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't use their playlist. I have my own.
But I'm really interested in the podcast because I'm hoping they will give me education about starting back to running. I put down that I was a beginning runner because it's been so long. I had to do that too. Because I didn't
know I was running.
I think that, I need to take it.
Yeah.
From the beginning. And so,
Well, I tried to go on a run this morning and I could barely get through the warm-up because I couldn't breathe.
Mm. Well, I hope that you keep trying and it gets better. I really do hope it gets better. If not, again, when I'm going to the doctor September 29th, you can go with me and we can figure out,
I want to figure out why every time I get sick, I'm coughing for 3 months after.
Yeah, that's not good. It sounds like your lungs need...
I know, but it's pretty much always been like this.
So, I don't know. But hopefully it all gets better. We just got to get better. That's all there is to it. We got to get better. We got things we want to do. And so,
Sorry, I'm a little tired.
It's okay. We're going to cut it off now.
Okay.
Well, we do hope that it's been as much fun for you as it has been for us.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. In the meantime, if you want to join the conversation, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. I forgot something there. Let me start over. Oh my god.
I don't have it either.
No, it's okay. I got this. We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. In the meantime, if you want to join the conversation, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Wine Together Pod. Follow our Facebook group, the Wine Together Podcast. It's starting to see how tired I am. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all of our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as liking, subscribing, and commenting to our YouTube Wine Together Podcast.